we are now live on Facebook streaming, correct? We are. I've got 4 people in the waiting room. I know who 2 of them are for sure, and I've got a pretty good guess of who the 3rd one is. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 3D Politics, and tonight a very exciting episode. But once again, to introduce everybody who's here, usually David Vann from SoonerPolitics.org, everything state politics you've ever wanted to know, David Vann, and David Oldham, Constitutional Grounds, keeping his finger on the pulse of all things constitutional. And if you've got a question, Constitutional Grounds is where you go to ask constitutional questions. David Oldham, thanks for being here, both you guys. We have really pulled a coup in my mind by having the ability through this fantastic medium of technology to get Ty Walker and Ken Reddick here with us before the election to discuss their different positions. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we are going to run that tonight, starting at 7:15. We'll bring them both on. And so hopefully they're paying attention now as we get into this. The Davids and I have already discussed how we are going to figure this out. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to let these gentlemen come on, these 2 candidates, Ken Reddick and Ty Walker. And first segment, we'll discuss what these guys agree on. And I don't want that to last too long because we don't want to waste a lot of time. If they agree on it, then we don't need to know too much about it as long as those guys both agree on it. And then we'll move into the second segment, which is what do these guys disagree on? Ken has his ideas, Ty has his ideas. And we'll ask both candidates to discuss and interact to figure out what they disagree on and have a discussion there. After that, we will work heavily on solutions and have both guys and all of our panelists pitch in ideas of solutions as opposed to the comparative analysis between Ty Walker and Ken Reddick. Did I make that understandable, Davids?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. So far, so good, Dan. I'm excited. Very good. We should have some great viewership tonight. So we're going to also, at the end of the those 3 segments, we will also move from the solutions portion into looking at Facebook comments. So go to 3D Politics right now and start. If you have questions for Ken Reddick or Ty Walker or any other questions about the mayoral race here in Tulsa, make sure and throw your questions out there, and we'll try to get to them as best we can toward the end of the segment. So there it is. We're going to bring them on at 7:15. We're going to talk shortly about what they agree on, and then we're going to go at length about what they disagree on, come up with some solutions and see what they both have to offer, and then go to questions from Facebook. That sounds pretty concise to me, boys. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm excited about this, getting both these guys. I've gotten to know both of them. They have been, both of them, pretty solid Republican active community members.
Right.
I think they both run for office in the past here in Tulsa. So they're not new to this game. They know Tulsa. Good. They know Tulsa's issues.
Excellent. Oldham, what do you know?
You know, I'm just glad to have some people on that we can actually talk to, since it's hard to reach the mayor and have any form of a discussion with him. So I think it's good. I think we've already got people coming into the chat room and into the Facebook now to hear what somebody else has to say. We know what the party line has been, or the government line has been, and it's going to be good to hear. I hope some refreshing sounds that differentiate themselves from the current mayor.
This is a great opportunity to get some information out to the public that they can't get otherwise through the major media outlets. I know I've got 4 people in the waiting room and 1 person waiting potentially outside that. I'm not sure who they are. One of them might be D'Ambroso, and 2 of them I'm sure are our candidates waiting. We can probably start to admit people just because we're there. But I mean, again, we're how
you
many
want to
weeks?
Get D'Ambroso in?
Yeah. Do you know which one he is?
No, I don't.
I can't tell. If he'll tell me. I'm having trouble with the Zoom invite. Ken Reddick, hang on. You're hang on. Ken Reddick.
And I was having trouble earlier.
He was too.
Yeah.
All right, we're just a few minutes out. Let's go ahead and see what is BWBO. We're getting ready to find out. Who have we got here? I just admitted them.
While you guys are doing that, let's also tease that.
That's going to be Charity.
There's Charity.
There we go.
So is this Ty here?
Yes.
Ty, nice to meet you. You're muted. You'll need to unmute your. There we go. Ty Walker, nice to meet you. And Charity, nice to meet you.
I assume that's Charity. I don't know.
Is that Charity?
Yes, it is.
You're still Ty. You
Can't
still
hear
got your.
Can you
got your
unmute?
microphone muted?
Can you unmute
Okay, there we go.
There we
Hi,
go.
guys.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey guys.
Now, who are we looking at? Who have we got?
Ty, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Ty Walker.
Ty Walker,
Yeah.
nice to meet you. Tom McKay, you know Oldham and Van probably. And then let's see, where is my waiting room? They never let me get back to the waiting room. Let's see if we can bring Ken. Ken, try me again.
I'm wondering if that's a dirty trick Ty just
No,
pulled.
I've had this problem before, but this is good. Ken's been on before. Ty, tell us a little bit about yourself while I try to get Ken back on the show.
Well, I'm a native of Tulsa, born and raised here, self-employed, own a restaurant here in Tulsa. Been in the restaurant business since 1974 here in Tulsa. I'm a Navy veteran. I'm married for 20 years. I have 6 daughters and 1 grandson.
If you could stop a second, Tom, why don't you take a look on your messenger? Ken said he's having a hard time with that.
Yeah, I did, and I sent him. Try again. Ty,
Okay.
I apologize.
Oh,
We're
I
learning
see.
to
You
get
got
everybody
it.
on.
Sorry, Ty, go ahead.
Yes. Oh, huh? Go ahead about what? No.
What's the Tuesday special at the restaurant? Whatever you want to say.
No, today is Monday.
I know, tomorrow.
No, Tuesday is 2 for 2. 2 for 2 for $20. You
Oh,
have
okay.
a chicken fried steak, a chicken fried chicken with 2 sides each, and a drink. That's a whole meal for each person for $20. Hand breaded chicken fried chicken, hand breaded chicken fried steak. We do it myself.
I think he's an authentic
Awesome.
restaurateur. Yeah. So anyway, Ty, I remember meeting you at the Republican Assembly down at Golden Corral. So
Yes, that's a couple of years ago.
yeah, you were running for, I think, a city council race. Wasn't that right?
City Council, City Council District 5.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a couple of years ago.
I'm kind of filling in while Tom's doing some technical
I'm
stuff.
arguing with the tech. I have sent Ken. Okay, there he is.
Okay, here
And
we
let
go.
me profusely apologize, Ken. I'm sorry. I've had this problem before. The waiting room goes away. I had 4 people in it, and now you guys are there. I thought I might see D'Ambroso. Ken Reddick, thanks for showing up tonight. We appreciate you being here. Ty Walker, also, I've just meeting you tonight, and again, I appreciate you being here as well. I hope you guys heard, and if you didn't, I'll review a little bit. We're going to try to do a 3 or 4 segments here. The first segment is I want to get it out of the way pretty quickly, and what do you guys agree on? We're going to kind of go back and forth. I want to have a discussion, not a forum or a debate. We should be able to just talk and have a discussion and a comparative analysis and quickly go through what you guys agree on. Then I'd like to belabor what you guys disagree on to kind of ferret out more detail into the weeds about what you guys disagree on and why you think your idea is better. And then after that, I want to move into a heavy concept of solutions and what you guys both think the solutions are, discuss them there. And hopefully we'll have questions from the 3D Politics page from our viewers. So kind of like cards, whoever's got the card that starts the round, does anybody, can either of the candidates think of anything? Well, let me ask the Oldhams and the Vans. Oldham and Van, you know the candidates. Can you think of anything you think they agree on that you might assert that they do?
You know, they both have run businesses, had to deal with zoning, had to deal with licensing. I'm sure I could probably get both of them worked up on that issue.
All right, what do you think?
I was going to say pretty much the same thing. I think we can all realize that especially in this day and age, that licensing has been a big issue, and we could probably have a really good discussion about that.
So in short, licensing, Ty Walker, you think that's a great idea, bad idea, medium?
Well, yeah, permits and licensing is always a problem. You know, like it's like in the restaurant business, you get ready to start a restaurant, even if you have an existing building, like the Tulsa County Health Department in the city wants you to submit a floor plan where equipment is go sit. Okay, and it costs you $450.
Right.
Gee.
So you draw it on a piece of paper like this. This, you know, make circles, say the oven, refrigerator, ice maker, and then get them $450. They come in and look at it. You know,
What do you think, Reddick?
What a privilege, huh?
Ken, what do you got on licensing?
My issue with licensing usually is when a municipality has taxation without representation. I always disagree with someone that simply has a municipality that has a permitting fee, but they don't have an inspection after that permitting fee. It's simply just a cash grab for me to do business inside their city limits.
I love how Van has set me up for this. My only platform during the mayoral race of 2016 was to extend the lifespan of cyclical municipal regulations.
Mm-hmm.
That is, they extended our penny in the tax plan to get more of our money. And I'm saying, if I am a hairdresser and I got to pay 25 or 50 bucks for a license, how about the city extend the lifespan of my license as a hairdresser to go 2 years instead of 1? That hits my bottom line at about a 50% amazing benefit, but it's only about a 10% impact on the, well, less than 10% of the city's budget was for licensings and registrations. Right. And I'd like to hear either one of you guys on that concept of extending the lifespan of cyclical municipal regulations. Ty.
I mean, for one, I mean, I've been in the restaurant business since 1974, and you know, to have a license every year for the same thing is kind of ridiculous when, you know, it's no need for it, you know. So at the end of the day, it's just it becomes a nuisance to the business owner.
Would it benefit you if that same money allowed your restaurant license to go twice as long?
Yes, I mean, it's always a benefit to go twice as long.
Right.
You know, but at the end of the day, why would you have to renew every year, every 2 years? I mean,
Reddick, what do you got?
I've got to ask. Oh no, Ken, you go ahead and answer. Then I want to chime in.
Well, I would agree. Yeah, even if it just double the cost, it lowers the overhead immediately on the kickstarting. You know, you don't have to. It frees up your schedule at the very least. And you know, if I can be certified to drive for 3 years, that's way more dangerous than allowing me to run a business for 3 years. So just, you know, extend the timeline, extend the actual licensing, you know, schedule.
That's more input than I got from GT. What do you got, Oldham?
Well, I was just going to mention the Oklahoma Constitution says in Article 2, Section 7, that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So my question is, where is there any justification for any licensing or permiture, which is a grant of government? Don't we already have the right to freely open a restaurant, freely open a construction business, or whatever?
Oldham wants to fix it from the beginning forward. So you know, we're going to have to reverse some of this in the engineering. So we touched a little bit on the licensing, et cetera. Do either of the, I've tried to warm it up, and I know, do you guys, I'm a kind of guy that just asks, do you guys have an amicable relationship? Do you respect each other? Can you have or is there
this
some
is
heat?
my first time ever seeing Ken.
Okay.
Wow.
So it can't be bad. You guys are both.
I'm not doing a good job of getting my name out there then.
No, you are. But so you guys have never met. You're meeting now for the first time on Zoom. Are you familiar with? Are either of you familiar with the either guy's platform?
No.
I am. Yeah.
Okay, Ken, I'll put it on you.
I learned of Mr. Walker in 2018 when we both ran for city council, and I was looking for someone to support in his district.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Ken. Can you find anything on Ty Walker's platform that you agree with? I mean, we've kind of touched licensing. Anything else?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think he's got a good handle on exactly what the issues should be. I think where we differ is the depth of how we handle the issues
Well, okay,
and
what
our
hold
application.
hold it. You're moving into the other segment. I want to. What are the issues you agree with him on? That's the whole point of the first short segment. Is that I want to hear. You said he agrees on the some of the. What are the basic issues then?
Economic advancement in North Tulsa, infrastructure shortcomings in North Tulsa, West Tulsa, East Tulsa. We need better participation between small businesses and City Hall. We need better networking. We need incubators. We need more attention. We need a spotlight shined on North Tulsa. As North Tulsa goes, all of Tulsa will go. You can only be, as strong as, as every neighborhood is capable of being. So if we turn a blind eye to North Tulsa, East Tulsa, and West Tulsa, it's just going to be all the, same problems we're having, and we'll never address the real issues. So until
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ken.
No, go. You're fine.
I was just saying, Ty, is staying within the area of agreement? Does that sound right?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. You want to add anything or expound at all?
No, that's fine. When the floodplain when the water breaks up dam up north, it rolls downhill. So that's eventually, true. when North Tulsa crashes, it's gonna roll to South Tulsa. So if you don't fix the bridge or the dam now, eventually it's just go crash the whole city of Tulsa.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I didn't expect this to go too much longer. If you guys have, I'm going to press the Davids to find out. You guys have both studied the politics of these guys. Do you see agreement between these guys that they haven't mentioned?
Yeah, I do, and I'll have to tell you, East Tulsa's already there. I mean, it's really struggling, and. Yep. And I'm hearing some amens from the guys here on that.
Somebody,
and really, we need to deal with that. And there's people in West Tulsa that are going to tell you they've been neglected a long time. And to the point where I'm saying, it's important that our mayor's office understands there are neighborhoods not in Brookside that are still valid neighborhoods.
Yeah. Yep. Keep picking a mayor that served City Council District 9, and you'll keep getting a lot of attention in District 9.
Good point.
Very good. Okay, well, that sounds like the agreement portion of the message. So, we've warmed it up. Ken, you're more familiar with Ty Walker's platform than he is of yours. Is there something that you feel like Ty is lacking, or that you have, or that Ty has that you don't think is appropriate?
I wish I could lead a sermon in a choir as well as he does. But that being said, no, I wouldn't say he's lacking at all. We need his level of accountability and wanting to serve a community out of everyone. What I see out of Ty is great. I mean, he could just go home every day and just live on his own success, but he doesn't. He's a small business owner, and he sees what it takes out of a stakeholder to really turn a neighborhood around. So you have to be active and you have to invest, and he does that. I respect that.
So I mean, if there's a lot of agreement between you guys and no comparison of negativity, it's just a matter of figuring out what is the best structure to work you guys together.
Right.
And so does anybody have any ideas on how to move forward with combining these two guys' efforts in such a way that it works towards the better good of the citizen? Van, what do you got?
I'm really appreciating this. And gentlemen, I want to say you have lived up to my expectation tonight. I didn't expect you guys to go dirty or salacious or anything, because I'm just, I feel like I got pretty good instincts on human character, and you guys are great. And, my thing is, I think you both agree that we're not being served right now. And if you've heard Tom on any of our shows every Monday night, Tom agrees with you so much that he threw his hat in the ring last time around. So I really would like to, see what are the biggest needs that have to change and can't wait another 4 years.
Oldham, what do you got?
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear the answer to David's question. I'd like to start with Ty.
What was the question again?
What are the biggest needs that have to change and can't wait 4 years?
Okay.
Economic development. You know, economics is not always has to do with just the monetary side of it. You know, if you want to change a man's perspective or change a man's heart, change the economic situation. And I guarantee you, if you change the economic situation, you can help change his heart. His heart will move in a different direction. It's just because of his living conditions. And then the understanding that the voice of being crying out for so many years and no one's coming to give you anything to take the relief of that pressure away from you. The city as a whole has been given majority of Tulsa a pacifier, what I call a pacifier. You know, you take a kid, you put a pacifier in his mouth, stop him from crying, but never get any milk. There's always a pacifier. That's why you see kids 3, 4, and 5 years old with a pacifier in their mouth, because they were never really given a bottle, so they become used to a pacifier. So we need to stop pacifying the people and give them milk to be able to grow. You need milk to.
Ty, are you when you say we should give, are you suggesting that is from government down to citizens?
No.
What do you mean we should give?
No, government. I don't want government to give you nothing.
I'm just asking. I'm a guy that doesn't know.
Right. What I'm saying, give them the things they need to progress economic situations. Put businesses and jobs in their community where a single parent is able for their kid to go to school 2 or 3 blocks from their home and being able to work in the same area that she's sending her kids to school, or they're sending their kids to school, where they can be able to watch their kids and help raise their children. Right now, what we have in North Tulsa is all the kids being shipped south. Okay. Yeah. And the good kids from the south side have been shipped into Booker T.
Yeah.
Right. And so now our parents that's on the side, we don't have the ability to go see about our children on the south side.
See, we're still suffering Woodrow Wilson's segregation policy by reversing it. I mean, it's literally ridiculous. The Democrats ruined us 100 years ago, and we're still, Ty, if you ask me, you're describing the problem. Do you think the busing fixes anything?
But see, at the end of the day, I look at Black communities also as fault also for allowing that to really happen. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. I'm going to always be honest with you. At the end of the day, we have to take responsibility for everything goes on in our community also. If we allowed, then we wanted it. So when I see things go on with the politicians that we've had so long in North Tulsa, from downtown to North Tulsa, I guarantee you that all those years have been given a pacifier. If you look, that's what we have. If it could be a Democrat or Republican, it don't make me no difference. At the end of the day, nothing's never been put on the boots on the ground.
All right, let me bring Ken in. Ken, you heard my contention. You heard Ty's response. What do you think?
Yeah, we're on the right track. I believe the question was, what's going to be the most troubling issue moving forward, and what really needs to be addressed? I mean, we've become very tribal, even on local levels. We get into our own camps, and we don't like to communicate with each other. And we do this litmus test, and we try to qualify people before we let them in to help. And professionally, my training and my background has taught me and has allowed me to build bridges to connect all those camps. You know, I build bridges with communities all the time. I need access. I need to help them. I see an issue and I know who can help, and I connect the two people together. I get people on the same page with 2 separate visions all the time, and before you know it, they're solving each other's problems. So you'd be surprised what North Tulsa can do for South Tulsa and what East Tulsa can do for West Tulsa if they would just collaborate. But if you give me the stage of City Hall, I mean, I'll be able to do wonders. I mean, we'll be able to connect people on levels we've never seen before. We'll bring someone in. We'll create a whole new chapter of the 10-Point Coalition here in Tulsa, and they have real factual data. I mean, if we just follow their lead and the model that they've developed, we can change Tulsa inside of 1 term, you know, and then I don't have to commit to a 2nd term, you know, like GT says he's doing now. But I can leave and go live my life, run my small business again, raise my kids, and allow, you know, the legacy that we've implemented to live on. It'll just forever affect, you know, the community. And I doubt any mayor after us would dare remove the positions and the coalitions that we've created.
Van, what do you think?
You know, talking with both you guys probably know Henry Primo, who's been a responsible businessman and a good community member. He told me he about 6-8 years ago he joined the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce with just that desire to bring some of the top retired businessmen in this town into a mentoring role, because he really feels like in certain parts of town, and I would put East Tulsa in the same boat, you don't really see that entrepreneurial spirit. And that's why I love seeing guys like you two men who have that, who've made, you know, a payroll, who've had to sign up and get your licensing and inspections. And so, you know, I'd like to see more of that happening, and I think it would bring together.
Yeah. And that's what I do in my spare time all the time. We try to mentor with the youth. When I was helping out with Sheridan Christian Center, we developed a men's business development program where we would bring in the youth from just that specific neighborhood at 2nd and Sheridan. We would teach them how to develop a resume, how to dress properly for an interview, what jobs and careers they could get on the path now at the age of 15. And they think they would never get to college, or that, you know, they couldn't cut it. And let them know there are 6-figure careers out there that exist, and you know, with a trade skill, and you know, just building up your own business and investing in yourself, what that actually looks like, what it looks like to develop an actual schedule and a plan for yourself, and how to create milestones and accomplish those goals. If we could hire a grant writer to work inside the city of Tulsa, we could help fund those missions and those organizations such as Ty Pros and Young Business Leaders of Tomorrow. And we could help out, and we could just expand it to a citywide level to where Tulsa could be nationally known as the greatest youth incubator in the nation.
Okay, I want Ty to get a chance to respond, and I want to have Oldham, and then I got a question that is an analogy. Go ahead. Ty, what's your response?
Well, I heard him speak about 2nd and Sheridan. North Tulsa really starts from the west side of Lewis to since Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, from Pine to 56th Street. That's really the north side. That's what we call North Tulsa. Anything past Admiral is South Tulsa. We really call North Tulsa Lewis to MLK, from Pine to 56th Street. That's North Tulsa. When you look at that square right there, it's suffering. Okay? Many organizations, pastors, church leaders, government officials, you name it, they've all been in North Tulsa for all these years. Every organization. And at the end of the day, from 1976 to this day, you see what's in North Tulsa. Nothing's never changed. Okay? No, there's no boots on the ground. We can put all the planning committees we want together, all the planning boards, you name it, you can put it together. But if ain't no boots on the ground, and ain't nothing to change it, we have to put boots on the ground.
Ty, I'm going to ask you again. You're saying boots on the ground. You're going to have to define that for me.
Well,
where do the boots come from?
From inside the community. It's actually good people in North Tulsa.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with government, but actually people that has street credit in North Tulsa that you can put in North Tulsa to make use of them to help build a community up.
Oh, hold on. There's good. You said there's good people in North Tulsa. They're already there. What do you mean put them there?
No. What are you saying?
I'm asking you.
What I'm saying
I'm not understanding is the problem. I don't understand when you say boots on the ground.
People that's actually working. People's actually in the neighborhood, going through the neighborhood and seeing what's need to be done and actually doing it.
That's boots on the ground.
It's boots on the ground.
But I'm saying, where do those boots come from? You say we got to put those people there. Where do they come from?
The people from in the community.
So they're already in the community. I don't understand what you mean. Put them there if they're already there.
Use the people that we have in the community. We don't need to bring out.
How do we use them? Define how do we use the people in the community? What do you mean use them? They're already there. Why don't they do it? What do they need? What do you mean use them?
For one, the people that's actually in charge now are those that have been in charge for a while.
You mean like GT Bynum, who is the nephew of DBJ?
It's hard.
I know it's the same show on earth. GT Bynum, same show on earth. I'm asking you specifically, where did the boots? They're from. When you say we got to put them in the community, they're already in the community.
No, well, I'm saying we use those that's in the community.
Define use.
By going in their own neighborhood.
All right, Van is mad at me. Fix
No.
it. Vans, man, I don't understand. To me, I don't like using people. I don't understand what you mean. If there's opportunity,
You're not using
and
people.
they're already there. Hey, if they're already there and the opportunity's there, why aren't they doing it?
There ain't no opportunity there.
Well, then how? Why not? The opportunity is there. Why isn't there any
Because
opportunity?
it's never given the opportunity there. Have you ever been in North Tulsa?
I have a house in the hot north. Yeah, for 50 years I've been in North Tulsa. Yes.
50 years. Where you live at in North Tulsa?
Well, that's not your business.
Well, I mean, what?
Denver and Pine.
Where?
Denver and Pine.
Denver and Pine.
Is that close enough?
Denver and Pine. Yeah, that's right downtown.
Okay.
That's where the gas vans come
So
from.
what I'm saying is.
But no, but see what I'm saying. What I'm saying, they don't see your face in North Tulsa. They don't see you in North Tulsa.
You don't know that.
Okay, well, so Mike,
I've been in North Tulsa for 55 years, sir.
Hold it. This is all right. I appreciate you, Ty, very much. Ken, tell me how I'm wrong.
I think what we're missing here is how do we activate the people that are in North Tulsa? You do it with resources. They need attention and they need constant levels of just accountability and resources. And that's why like I've said before, I would create that position.
I'm sorry. I'm going to push you the same way I did Ty because I ain't got forever. Where are these resources coming from? I just want to know. Where are you going to get these resources?
Honestly, I think the people are there that care, but the resources come from outside North Tulsa. You're going to have to get people activated from outside, and you're going to have to bring them into North Tulsa and train and properly instruct and show them that the system works.
You agree with that, Ty?
Sure.
All right, Odom, what do you know that I said that's wrong?
It's not so much that. The question I've got is do the people within North Tulsa are they just lacking opportunity? In other words, it's been restricted of them, or is it because there just isn't a financial base that is sufficient to support them, or that they possess to engage in a business startup?
Well, it's a combination of both of those right there. Okay, it's money in Tulsa. Okay, for one thing, we do have too many churches in Tulsa. Period. Because churches don't even put anything. No sales tax. Nothing. They don't. They take out, but they don't put in.
I'm against all nonprofits, so I agree. Go ahead.
Well, no, you can't be against nonprofits.
I'm against all nonprofits, but go ahead.
But I'm just saying. So at the end of the day, we have to bring viable businesses in North Tulsa to produce a sales tax base. Okay. And once you start producing a sales tax base, then you're able to put other things in place. We don't even have a sales tax base in North Tulsa.
That's true.
None.
Okay.
We don't have none. So you have to have businesses in North Tulsa to create a tax base. Okay, tax base people pay jobs, have jobs. They pay sales tax. They pay property tax. They buy homes. Okay.
It looks like I'm the only guy. It looks like it's going to be me against the other mayoral candidates. Here's what I know. When I ran in 2016, they came to me and they said, hey, we'll support a grocery store in North Tulsa. And what I found out in the discussion was what they mean by the word support is I'll go down there and buy what I need whenever I need it. They don't mean I'll stock the shelves, invest it, make sure it's secure, and make sure the shelves are there ready. So supporting a grocery store in North Tulsa hasn't worked, even though they say I will support a store in North Tulsa, because they don't mean I will own a store and run it in North Tulsa. What they mean is I'll shop there anytime I need. That's what they mean when they say support. What I know is that you can open a business anywhere, and on Denver where they never see me. There's a gal that teaches piano right there on Denver, because now it's high traffic. Ultimately, it will be commercial. There's another gal that does hair. There's a vaginal spa right there on Denver. Look it up. And so although they never see me, I'm sure down there a lot. But what I'm saying is if there's a business opportunity, business people go there. And the idea of using people, or I think, Ken, you said we need to take resources from somewhere else and put them there. Again, this is just simply forcing people around and thinking you're gonna spend money here and there and fix it. If the answer here is to remove the restrictions from the citizens, get rid of the zoning, get rid of the licensing, get rid of all the things that are keeping the creative people down, and quit worrying about all the other stuff. Gentlemen, somebody fix me.
No, you're right. But now you're getting into our other planes. This is what I meant when I talk about the depth of the issues. We actually do have a business plan, a business model that reinvigorates North Tulsa. It's called agri-leasing. We partner with local farmers, and we can drive traffic up to North Tulsa. People act like food deserts are just where someone doesn't want to, make some money, and a grocery store doesn't exist. But if there's, we all know we live in a capitalist society. It would be very easy to become a millionaire selling groceries. If you look at like the CDC 500 research, 500 cities data, it should be pretty easy to open a grocery store in North Tulsa. Obviously they're lacking one, but why is it one that's fully subsidized by the city never survives? And it's the business model that's applied. You can't just fully subsidize a grocery store in North Tulsa and expect it to succeed. The last one that was there was rent-free on a lease. And what did that save them? Maybe $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month on that level of square footage, from what I've seen, the price per square foot on a retail shop like that. So you've saved that much money, and they're still in the red. So it's just all about your actual model.
What do you got, Ty?
You have to open up opportunity, economic opportunities to the people. Mm-hmm. You have to. Ain't nobody asking the city or the government to give them anything. Nothing. Right. Nobody's asking somebody to give them anything. All they want is the opportunity. Okay? Right. You have the opportunity, then you'll be able to do something. But if you don't ever get the opportunity, how can you know? How do you know? I've seen two grocery stores within a half a mile of each other. Best Jet and Safeway survived from the 60s all the way to the 80s, 90s, early 90s. So it's possible to be done. It's not impossible. It's just opportunities haven't been there. That's the whole.
Ty, were those stores you're talking about? Because I was there as a kid in the 60s, and were those stores run by the people from the community that loved the community?
Safeway was owned by whoever owned Safeway. Best Jet was an individual owner, sole proprietor. He was Mr. Gibbs. He was there. Banfield's Meat Market was there. We was out there for 48 years. Tulsa with the restaurant. So we survived. I mean, it's the opportunity.
Well, to me, the answer then is to get somebody from that community to love that store or grocery store or business into the community, and the communities that will love them back. If someone from that community can create the entity that the people from that community need and love, then it's a symbiotic relationship. If we try to transplant it from somewhere else, we're not
transplanting from nowhere else. I'm not taking nothing out your pocket. We don't want nothing out your pocket.
I'm not talking about redistribution. I'm talking about what Oldham said.
We don't want no tax dollars. We don't want none of that stuff. Government gets in the way. All we want is the opportunity in North Tulsa and East Tulsa. That's it. Don't nobody want to give them nothing.
I'm disagreeing with. I'm disagreeing with the concept that we move resources from somewhere else in there, that we build up the community from within the community. Go ahead, Oldham.
Because this happens. It's not unique to North Tulsa. It's everywhere. But when Ty, when you say we just want opportunity, what do you mean by opportunity?
All it is. It's just like okay. It's just like let's just say like the BMX deal, right? What was the tax break was given?
Okay, free headquarters.
You saying what was the tax break they was given? You see what I'm saying? Or you see what I'm saying? So we don't get that opportunity. And if I go put up a grocery store in North Tulsa, I got to start from the ground up. Everything's got to be paid for from the ground up. I don't get no tax break. A $10,000 tax break to me is just like a $10 million tax break to a big company. You see what I'm saying? We don't get that tax break. Right. We don't get that opportunity to do that. We don't get no opportunity to have the $1 a year, whatever that is, the bus plan is getting out there. We don't get those kind of opportunities. That's you know that's you see something. So that's all we
crony.
want.
Yeah, that's crony capitalism, is what that is. That's the bus thing with GT, and that's nothing but crony capitalism.
I'm just saying, but you know, we don't get no tax breaks. When I open that restaurant, nobody give me no tax break. They don't give me no tax break. I pay sales tax and federal from the day one. We don't get no tax break. And I have 8 to 10 people work for me all the time. I don't get no tax break. I mean, I create jobs, so what's the difference? They're giving me a tax break.
We're gonna
I think just so you know, Ty, we're all small business people here.
Yeah.
and none of us have gotten tax breaks.
Ever. But what's the opportunity though? You know, 65% of the homes in North Tulsa is on government assistance. 65% of every household in North Tulsa is on government assistance.
Wow, I did not know that number.
That's you don't live on Denver and Pine. But anyway, 65% of the homes in North Tulsa is underwater, government assistance. Okay, so they don't pay sales tax. They don't really pay property tax. So food stamp payment at the store is a negative gain. It's money.
But isn't that resources into North Tulsa, government assistance? Isn't that what you wanted?
No, that ain't what we want, man.
Well, what do you mean, government assistance, money in?
Come, man, it's a negative gain. Look here, check this out.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it takes resources, right? So, and opportunity. You don't have that in North Tulsa. You can dress it up any way you want to dress it up, make it sound like any way you want to make it sound. It's not there. Period. It's not. It's not. And so at the end of the day, until it's open up and a level playing field is able body for those over who's able to open up a grocery store. There's plenty of money in North Tulsa sitting on it. Plenty of money in North Tulsa, but they don't have the opportunity. They don't have a lane.
So I want to know, because I'm not running this race, but I got all sorts of thoughts. Ken, do you agree with what he just said?
Based on, well, I've got my own ideas. So I would follow the model that was a huge success set by Dewey Bartlett when he unleashed all that job growth that we're seeing now off of Highway 169. Every one of those big manufacturer buildings, Warren Cat, Amazon, all those big giant manufacturers and warehouses that are over there now are taking advantage of the zone restrictions that we removed. And we said, if you build over here and you hire so many people, you get this land for free. So they had investment, they had initiative. They came in and you saw outside companies move to those areas. You saw Warren Cat move to that area. And
so Ken, let me ask you, how is that different than the sweetheart crony capitalism deal that the bus making company got with GT from 20 years ago?
Right, you're right. So the difference is, well, with the bus plant, the difference is they get a free building. It's probably the most valuable building that we have in the city of Tulsa as far as like ownership and being able to lease out to a manufacturer. And what do they get it for? $1 for 20 years if they invest in it. That's if they invest in it. And then there's no requirement that they have to hire people from actually Tulsa to actually do the work. So we get the short end of that deal. We don't get the rent on the building, and they don't hire Tulsans for the most part. A lot of them are temps. So the ones that are from Tulsa are just temps, so they don't get benefits. It's not that good of a paying job. It's a poor working condition. It doesn't build anyone up. There's no future advancement. Where do you take that training elsewhere in Tulsa once you've received it? So those kind of jobs are a little bit different. It's not cronyism if the city of Tulsa were to create a land trust and then incentivize companies to come in and offer jobs to the public. Now, it is cronyism.
Hold it. Ty, does that sound right?
No, we don't want. We don't want government hands on nothing.
Right. That's correct. Yes.
It's never been a government program ever made a success out of it.
Correct.
You tell me one. I don't know one.
No, it doesn't.
So at the end of the day, that don't work.
Right.
It takes private investors, private people with private money moving forward. That's how it'll move. It's going to be private money with private investors and everyday people making it happen. Now, with that being said, yes,
go ahead.
Yes, the city could allow some investors to have the land, and they're not doing nothing with it. I mean, you have, I'm not going to name, but you have 3 or 4 different families in the city of Tulsa control everything. So at the end of the day, why not? I mean, why not? We want to spend, we need opportunity. That's all it is.
Hold on. You're right. and typically I would fully agree with that. That works in a vacuum. You know, you just remove restrictions, open up an area, and naturally entrepreneurs move in. They build it up and they develop businesses and they develop communities. I mean, when I moved down to Allen, Texas in high school, there were cities that are there now that have a population of 50,000 that didn't exist 20 years ago. I mean, you remove restrictions and a population will explode. Problem is, we've given North Tulsa decades to kickstart itself. And sometimes a little bit of initiative from City Hall has to happen to jumpstart a program. I'm not saying government handouts and I'm not saying government influence, but I am saying that Kickstarters can come from anywhere and they can work if they have the proper backing, if they have the right agenda.
Okay, I want to kind of move on. You guys cannot ever know how much I appreciate you guys being here. Ty Walker, Ken Reddick, I appreciate you being here. It's been very exciting for me. Tommy McKay, your fine host here at 3D Politics every Monday night, 7 p.m. David Van, Sooner Politics, with me every Monday, as well as David Oldham, constitutionalgrounds.com. I got a question I want to ask to try to bring us together in some sort of way that helps us maintain our individualism, but drive down the same path. So here is my Aesop's fable analogy. If Ken Reddick and Ty Walker were getting ready to go cross country in an automobile, and you need a navigator and you need a driver, and don't go both on me because you know how I hate it. But taking the wheel of the city of Tulsa, so to speak, as the mayor, which one of you should drive? And which clearly you guys agree. And I like that. Which one of you guys should drive and which one of you guys should read the map and navigate?
Well, I'm going to be the navigator because the navigator tells the driver which way to go.
Doesn't mean he's going to drive that way. Ken, what do you think about that response?
I would enjoy that. I would love to be the driver. I'm not beholden to anyone.
So do you guys think ultimately, and again, just allegorically, not specifically, do you think you guys could work together in that fashion where Ty Walker is negotiating some format of direction and Ken Reddick is working with him to help the citizens of Tulsa push these things down properly?
Absolutely. If I don't belong in this race if I'm not going to reach out to gentlemen, Ty Walker or gentlemen just like Ty Walker, stakeholders, restaurant owners, business owners, men that really care about our city and the direction of our city. I should step out of the race if I say I'm not going to reach out to men just like Ty Walker. That being said, I believe that we have the best plan to move Tulsa forward, and we have the highest level of investment. We've got the highest level of support. The FOP, the TPD, we get emails and donations and just text messages every day saying, I dropped off 20 signs today, and maybe 6 of them were to TPD officers. So moving forward, I think our plan is by far the most ready to be implemented for the city of Tulsa.
I want Ty to respond, and then we want to go to the Davids and then move on to solutions. Ty, response.
Well, I have every plan I've ever had is on my website. I put it out there from day one. I'm the only person in this race that's ever lived on both sides of the tracks. Nobody's ever been on both sides of the tracks. I've been on both sides of the tracks.
I never saw you there.
Yes, sir. I still live on both sides of the tracks.
Just a joke, Ty. Go ahead.
So at the end of the day, I'm the only one with experience on both sides of the tracks. Nobody has the experience that I have with people. I'm a military guy. I build bridges from day one, and so and so that's where I'm at. I have a plan, I have a vision, and I'm set on the ground to do that vision. We have already working on a budget. We've already working. We put everything together that we need to have to move forward.
This is a great chance. Ty, tell them what your website is and where to find out more about you, and then we'll do Ken.
Ty Walker for Tulsa.
Ty Walker for Tulsa. Is that a number 4 or regular words?
Say again, FOR.
FOR. Ty Walker for Tulsa. And Ken, where do we find you?
Ken Reddick, the number 4, mayor.com.
Very good. Oldham, what do you know before we move on to solutions?
Well, we have just this past week had the mayor and the city council declare a mask mandate. Where do you guys individually stand on that? And what would you do? What would be your direction? Would it be the same, or would it be different than the city council at this point, or the mayor? Let's start with Ken.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we went down a dark path, you know, this last week. Ever since I've been worried about Tulsa ever since the press conference last Friday from Mayor Bynum, when he got on stage and he said he had motivation, or the week before he had things in action, and he was going to move towards removing our rights and our free decisions to assess our own risk, health risks. And when he removed that ability from the, you know, your citizen of Tulsa to make their own decision, I mean, that was a dark day in Tulsa, the day that city council voted 7-2, surprisingly so. I really thought it was going to go 5-4. I thought, you know, the only one that was on the fence was probably Phil Lakin out of District 8. I'm really disappointed because he specifically said that he needed to see economic data in order for him to make an educated decision. And there wasn't one person in that audience that presented any economic data when he voted to go ahead and push forward with this mandate. So I'm not anti-mask and I'm not pro-mask. I am anti-mandate. I'm anti-overreaching ordinance.
What do you got?
Well, I wouldn't even went down the road. I'd have been in a lot of trouble from Jump Street. I don't even believe I would ever sit down. I mean, I just, you know, old people used to tell us, if you don't feel it in your gut, you know what I'm saying, you have to trust your gut sometimes. And so I've never really felt it in my gut. So, you know, I'd have been really lockstep with the governor. I don't see, you know, the mayor not being in lockstep with the governor of the whole state, you know, for one thing. But I never really went down the road. You know, I'd have been in trouble because I really wouldn't even close down. You know, I'd have took my chances that way. Be honest about it.
You know, Ty, I used to run a restaurant, managed a kitchen for a couple and a half years before I got out of it. And I will tell you, the most unreasonable city people you'll ever run into is the Tulsa Health Department. They have no idea how to run a kitchen, serve a sandwich, or wash their own hands, much less where your hand washing sink needs to go, besides up wherever I want to shove it. So if you're in the restaurant business, you got my sympathy right off the bat. You're operating a 23% margin right off the bat.
No, it's down to 18% now.
Yeah, well, I ran a much better kitchen than you did.
I don't
wow.
I don't see these.
I had 23%, buddy. So, you know, eat it. It's a restaurant business. You can say that.
Yeah.
So anyway, what is your restaurant? Because I like to eat. Where is it?
We have 2 locations. We have Evelyn's out by the Aerospace Museum out on East 74th Street. Okay, that's where Mr. Boiler likes to eat there. My mother's sister there.
I'll avoid it.
And
What's
then
the
we have one of Jay's Next Generation. It's down on Arch and Greenwood.
I'll try that one.
Right on the corner of Arch and Greenwood.
Ken, I know you run I guess it's roofing and fence though, right? Because the fence is one I want.
Right. Yeah. So
I got
run
100
2
foot of
businesses.
fence. I got 100 foot of fence right down there at Denver and Pine. I need you to run.
All
Got a
right,
double lot right down there.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to use both your businesses because I like both you guys right off the bat. We're going to try to move into solutions, but before we do, Oldham. I mean, Van, I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, just waiting to step in. So, fellas, what I'm noticing here in what we're talking about, we're dancing around this, but we really aren't talking about the elephant in the room. In my mind, it has to do with our culture. And I think of various communities around the metro area that are very unique. Their ethnicity might be different, but more importantly, the culture is different. And what I admire about you men, and I'm calling you men because it's what in many ways we're seeing a lack of, is empowering men to be the leaders that they can be, the developers, the entrepreneurs, and you know, the kind of people who can find solutions. What I've seen happen, you know, and I'm going to surmise, I wasn't here at the time, but in the 70s when we ended segregation, we lost a lot of Northside merchants. And I think we're reaping what we sowed back then, a community that doesn't identify with the entrepreneur. But I think I'm not going to talk condescendingly about North Tulsa, because there's some incredible people there, and there are many problems in other parts of the city. But what can we do? Here's my question. What can we do to improve the culture all over the city, to empower people to be what their God-given talents and abilities allow them to do?
Ty, what do you think?
You have to start with the culture downtown. You know, it's the culture of downtown. You have to start with, you know, the culture of downtown Tulsa. Then it moves forward, okay? Then the people that we elect. You know, we have to be very, very careful of the people who we elect. You know, and so it's just the culture. So, and then when you keep the same people elected over a number of years, the culture have a tendency to come engulfed in themselves. You know, so you know, we have to change the culture of downtown from top to bottom. You know, I've been, you know, my campaign staff here has been on me saying I can't go in City Hall and fire everybody.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd be right
Sounds
there.
good to me.
I'd be cheering you on.
You know, I believe you have to change the culture. You know, especially those who's been in charge a while. You know, you have to sometimes you know, get younger and get a different, you know, different look and a different generation moving forward. You know, sometimes even with football and basketball coaches, they get to a point where they can't relate with the younger people because they're still stuck in that culture, that time zone that they're in. And so you have to move forward. You know, if we're not willing to move those out that's been there a while, then we're not going to ever change, because that same sound is going to stay there. And what happens, we get to hearing the same sound and they become numb to us. And so we don't hear anything else but that sound. And so we have to change the sound, the look, the smell, and everything about downtown Tulsa first.
Ken, what do you think?
You know, I think downtown Tulsa is doing pretty good. I mean, they seem really, you know, revitalized, and there's a lot of growth down there, especially since Bynum pushed that new sales tax extension, and he wants to build that $100 million park down there. You know, I think the other communities finally need some attention. You know, there's a lot of derelict parks all over Tulsa.
Yes.
You know, I would change the level of investment that every community feels like they're getting. I'd like to start what I call the mini gathering place. Let's build someone a gathering place in every community across Tulsa. Let's just reinvest in the actual specific neighborhoods across Tulsa. Let's give Hartford Hills a nice park. Let's give Reservoir Point a park. You know, let's actually get into East Tulsa and give them some of their parks back. Let's actually invest and let communities have their own gathering places. I think that's how you affect culture, you know, across an entire city. You show them that, you know, City Hall does care. They do care about your neighborhoods. They do care about your streets. I dare any one of you guys try to ride a scooter down, you know, Charles Page Line. You know, you won't make it far. You know, you'll tip right over. There's potholes everywhere. You know, you'd be surprised that the same contractors or the same city is in charge of the streets at 81st and Harvard that's in charge of the streets in West Tulsa. You know, it's shameful how we treat some of our communities. So it's no surprise that we're so splintered and so you know, naturally segregated, because we don't feel the same level of attention from City Hall.
Something that Ty said early in the show about what his peers view as North Tulsa, and he's got some hard lines around what that is, and South Tulsa has some hard lines around what they think it is, and this you know, what's true in the micro is true in the macro, and this reminds me of the lily alleyway between two people's lawns where it's really yours to mow. No, it's yours to mow, and that's why these different segments of the city are being disposed of, because everybody thinks it's everybody else's area. So maybe we need to come together and have Ty define what is South and what is North, so that we can start agreeing on who's responsible for road maintenance around here.
Right. Yeah.
So let's talk about solutions. Ken, you were kind of slipping into it there with some of your comments. Ty, do you have some idea of you know, your first 100 days? You know, what are you going to do to fix this thing?
Well, for one, I would like to really change the makeup of the city council. You know,
how do you do that?
This is what I see as a big problem too. You have 9 city councilors. What right does the city councilor have a vote to say what happens in each other city council district if it's not really an ordinance or something to the effect where it affects the whole city? You know, it's just like, you know, the moratorium that, you know, District 1 wanted to set no more dollar stores. Okay, now I told Vanessa I'm not boycotting a dollar store. I'm not against any dollar store. I'm a business guy, so I'm not doing that. But I would stand with you for the simple fact of this right here. Don't other city councils have a right to tell what goes on in them districts? We need to get away from that. 9 shouldn't have nothing to do with 2. 2 shouldn't be telling 1 what to do. 4 shouldn't tell 5 what to do. We shouldn't be able to vote on that because that district come and this person ballot vote to change the whole dynamics of that part of the city if they don't want it to happen. And so when you got Democrats down there fighting against Democrats, Republicans against Republicans on that deal, that tells me that there's no unity right there. City council should have no voice on each other's districts.
Ken, does that sound right?
I mean, you'd be surprised how limited they actually are inside their own district. The charter's written up to where, you know, they cannot represent constituents outside of their district. And, you know, basically, you know, even with Mayor Bynum's most recent, the one before last, his last budget presented, he allotted them $1 million a piece for their own pet projects. So inside their own district. So they started holding town halls and stuff like that. So, I mean, our city charter requires that they live inside the district, that they are registered to vote inside the district. The change that I would actually make is I would return us back to a partisan primaried election system. I think our city council, being as nonpartisan as it is, you know that there are counselors there. I know for a fact that they go door to door and they have voter registration sheets and they pander votes to that door's registration. They talk about the issues that they know are important to them. They know you're a gold level voter. They're going to talk about progressive issues. They go to the next door. They know you're a gold level conservative and they talk about issues, you know, pander to you that matter to you. So that being said, our city council is not diverse enough, and we are on the tipping point where if this election, outside of our race, you know, regardless of who wins the mayor's race, city council is so left leaning right now. They are one district away from us losing. It's like when we talk about the Supreme Court, you're one seat away from, you know, from everything, from America changing. We are one district away. It's probably District 9. That's probably going to be the most contested. And Cass Fowler, I think he's got a really good chance on just running away with it on the 25th. Cass Fowler there in District 5. But we don't have enough diversification because we've removed the labels. We've removed the identity of those counselors. And, you know, now it's 6'3" women to men. And then we have no idea what their leanings are. So then you've got like these, you've got Dexter Wright, you got Vanessa Hall Harper, you got McKee, you got Patrick, and then you'll have someone always come in like Phil Lakin or Kimbrough and mess it up. And they'll just vote for the OIM. If we're going to lose Kimbrough's vote on the OIM, and if District 9 and District 5 go the wrong direction, you're going to see an oversight committee here in Tulsa. And all that happens because we have no idea what the level of diversity on that council is. And that's why we need to return it back to parties.
Okay, Ty, I want to get your response, but specifically, I'm going to need to hear from you on this nonpartisan election style, because that was one of the problems I had trying to delineate myself from a millionaire. How can I show I'm any different than some millionaire if I can't even say that I'm a Republican? And so this nonpartisan issue in the mayor's race, do you see that as a problem, or do you see that as adding to the issues of the homogeny of the city council?
Well, it's a portion of all of it. If we want to really get away from being divided or you partisan, whatever you call it, remove labels from everything. We still identify with ourselves on applications, job applications, black, white, Latino, We say non-American, American. We have all these labels. Okay, so these labels keep us divided. So we really want to be divided, then remove all the labels. But if we don't want to be, we want to be divided, keep the labels. Okay, and so what happens is, you know, we say Bynum, everybody say Bynum was Republican. Okay, but when he was elected, he lined himself around with all the Democrats. So is he really a Republican? You see what I'm saying? So it's not based up on the title. It's based up on the fruit that your tree is bearing. That's what we have to look at. We have to forget the titles. Look at the fruit that tree is bearing. Then you know what kind of tree it is.
Ken, what's your comment?
But let me say this. If we did have a primaried system, we all know, everyone in on this conversation, everyone watching at home, we all know Bynum would never win a Republican primary. So that's what's wrong with our system.
That's correct. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Our system
But see, okay, but then at the end of the day, we allowed that to happen. And if we were Republicans, you see what I'm saying, and we knew that issue was on the ballot, we weren't loud enough to keep that issue forward. You see, we took a back seat.
I see what you're talking about, Ty. When you say we, I think you're, in my mind, you're talking about the people who are tuned in, who know what's going on, who know, but the headlines don't, the media skews the headlines to the point where we don't know, the we that doesn't pay attention like you do doesn't know that Bynum is anything. He's on the TED Talk saying he's a Republican governor, a Republican mayor from the reddest state in the union. And he's the purplest thing you've ever seen. So I'm being real polite.
Wait, his glasses are orange. His glasses are orange.
That's tortoise. That's tortoise shell. Yeah. So the other thing I hate that I got to get some input on because time is short. You know, we all paid for what they call the gathering place, which should have been called the social distancing place. Where were our two candidates on that Vision 2025 scam? Ty, did you like the Vision 2025 thing?
No, because North Tulsa got $16 million. It all went to Gilcrease Museum, buddy.
Oh, there you go. Correct for a fascist.
We say North Tulsa got all the money, but it actually went to Gilcrease Museum.
Right, isn't even owned. It's not even owned by the citizens. There's no such thing as co-ownership. It's all run by a partisan. Hold it, Ken. Your concepts on that same concept, the gathering place.
Terrible idea. I mean, the first thing they did was cut off West Tulsa from being able to enjoy it. So, and then the whole debacle with GT stepping in it and trying to offer, you know, some kind of public interaction with building a bridge. And then what do? We choose a bridge that's double the budget available. So now we don't get one. So
overcharged. Ty, do you agree with that concept?
Yeah,
what I mean is, let me be more specific. Do you agree with Ken's contention that West Tulsa got robbed like North Tulsa got robbed?
Yeah, Northeast.
There you go, kids. I'm winning.
Got robbed. I mean, that was and then you have the bus people in.
Yeah, well, at least we got that arrow system because I know, at least they got 4 people on that green magic bus. Mm-hmm. So what is anybody else on solutions? Anybody else got a magic solution? Ty, Ken, anything else? Oldham, what do you got?
Well, I would just say it's like, let's make Tulsa the American opportunity zone. In other words, let's just get back to constitutional governance.
Yeah.
Release the Drakens, as it were, and just, or the Kraken, and just let the people be, and wouldn't that solve virtually all of our problems? Wouldn't that end the need for the socialist handouts up in North Tulsa and East Tulsa and West Tulsa? And wouldn't that then also stimulate the economy of those areas because people would be forced to spend?
I just cannot contain myself. I'm trying to tune into the Facebook Live comments, and 3D Politics is winning when we've got 2 mayoral candidates on the show, and Kim, who is a Bynum fan on the 3D. This is fantastic. Some gal named Kim likes Bynum, and she's trolling 3D Politics. Oh, sorry. This is so much fun. So again, let's just reset once again. A million thanks, because you can tell I'm having a ton of fun. Tommy McKay here, your fantastic moderator and host, with Ty Walker, mayoral candidate for Tulsa, city of Tulsa. Also Ken Reddick, another mayoral candidate right here in Tulsa. Two of the best guys I know running. They basically agree on most things, and it's so deep into the weeds where they disagree. It's only me that likes it. Van, what do you got?
I want to ask each of you guys a simple question. If you were not in this race for whatever reason, let's say you got pulled out, let's say something, God moves you somewhere else, and you had to answer who's the next best guy of this race, what's the answer each of you guys would have?
Well, I have to say Ken at this point, because at the end of the day, that's, I've looked, and looked at other things and with other people, and right now he would be, the guy that I would have to put my hat on if I had to do that.
Ken?
Well, thank you. Yeah, I got to tell you, the reason I got in this race is I didn't know Ty was running. So I sat back and I waited and I waited. I didn't file until the second day, and we waited, and we wanted to jump behind everyone. We met with the county GOP chair. We met with the state GOP. We met with city elders. We met with the Liberty Center. We met with the FOP. We met with Dewey Bartlett and Terry Simonson.
And they were all like, Tom's not running, and so we don't know who else. Maybe Ty.
We thought,
I don't know.
Okay.
Jump in.
So you're Ken, you're saying Ty would be your next choice if for some reason you got pulled out of this. If God moved you somewhere else. Okay.
His conservative fundamentals are, on par. So
okay, hey, I got to correct real fast. Kim's, I don't use last names because I might get it wrong. Kim is correcting me right now. She's not a Bynum fan. She's picked her winner. You'll have to go to 3D Politics page on Facebook to see who she likes.
Yeah.
But no, I got that wrong. She's not a Bynum fan. She was maybe trying to be sarcastic. But once again, Ty, thank you for being here. Ken, thank you for being here. David Oldham, as usual, from constitutionalgrounds.com. Thank you for being here. And David Van, we couldn't do it without you. Soonerpolitics.org. Anything else before we get out of here?
Well, I would just say that oh, no, go ahead, please.
So I want to say thank you guys for having me. It's been an eye-opener.
Now you know what my problems are.
Real quick plug.
You're a little tougher than 912, I can tell you that.
Okay. Real quick, 5-second plug. Where's your next public event you're going to? 5 seconds.
Ty.
The Terror at 6 tomorrow.
6 o'clock tomorrow. Tara, that's at Golden Corral, 71st and Mingo. Ken.
We'll be on the corner of 31st and Garnett, handing out signs, sitting down, talking with all the public about the issues.
All right.
Very good. I hope you guys can, hopefully you will share emails, etc. Enjoy each other's, hopefully you can bring your efforts together one way or the other. I think you both want what's best for the citizens. Yep. You're both small business owners, which is the backbone of the country. And I would prefer to see either one of you guys take it away coming up in November. So I'll be watching both of your campaigns and looking to support either one of you at this point in the process. So once again, Ken Reddick, Ty Walker, mayoral candidates here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
This is Tommy McKay giving an end to our fine broadcast this evening. Actually, it's Cablecast. David Van, Soonerpolitics.org. David Oldham, constitutionalgrounds.com. And we will see you all next week, Monday, right here on 3D Politics Live on Facebook.
All right. Bye, guys.
Let me end this.